Is there anything they could throw at you legally that would convince you to drop out of the race? If you get convicted in this case in New York?
No, I'd never drop. It's not my thing. I wouldn't do it.
And that was former President Trump confirming legal obstacles will not stop him from running in the 2024 race. This is a new report from the group America First Legal. Obtained documents from a Freedom of Information request, and they found that the Biden administration was, in fact, involved in last year's raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, despite all the pushback and pushing a different narrative back in August. Watch this.
The president and the White House learned about this FBI search from public reports. We learned just like the American public did yesterday, and we did not have advance notice of this activity.
And now we learn otherwise, Michele.
It's not surprising. I mean, it really shouldn't be surprising. I think the defiance that this White House shows about every issue on which they're confronted just is such a tell. It's such a, we had absolutely no idea. I've never been involved in my son's business. I've never talked to him about that. It's always so universal and categorical, these denials.
Adamant, yeah.
Yeah, adamant. And I think it just, when we heard our earlier guest say it's going to take another election cycle for things to maybe get back on track in other areas, it's terrifying because we're not getting any truth from this White House.
Yeah.
They will spin stories again. And honestly, my fear about Donald Trump running is that he's going to divide the Republican Party, and we will be stuck with another 4 years of Biden. And it makes me feel very insecure about the future of this country.
Sad moments in time. Meanwhile, James, the Gang of 8 lawmakers now getting access to the classified documents that were recovered from the homes of former President Trump, former Vice President Pence, and President Biden. So we'll now understand and know, hopefully soon, what those classified documents were, if the Gang of 8 releases any information on it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, we'll see. This disclosure that White House knew more than it let on, I think, is interesting because one of the big questions after this unprecedented raid on the home of a former president, knowing how much authority presidents have under the Presidential Records Act to keep documents, is why was there that long summer break where you had the interactions with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, and the government wanted a stronger lock on the door, and then discussions happened, and then there was this long period, weeks and weeks and weeks in the summer before the raid. So you naturally said, well, if this was really that urgent, if the nuclear codes were in the coat closet next to his golf shoes, they would have had to go in. And I think it naturally raises the question of, was this a period of arm twisting of Attorney General Merrick Garland by the White House?
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes you feel better or worse about the Attorney General.
Or by Lisa Monaco, his number 2. It's funny because you say it jokingly, the classified documents weren't near his golf shoes, when in fact, classified documents of Joe Biden was near his Corvette in the garage.
Yeah,
so it's the same.
And a lot of those Biden documents were from his Senate time. He has no legal argument. He can't say that, like they've done, pretending that Obama gave him some superpowers under the Records Act, which he didn't. There's no argument as a senator that you have the ability to do that.
By the way, I mean, think about this for a second. You have to go to the SCIF, this secure location, to actually view these documents. And you have to sign a paper when you leave that I'm not taking anything with me. You're there with guards watching you. So I guess then Vice President Joe Biden, stuck them in his jacket, stuck classified documents in his pants?
Apparently.
How did he get them out?
He got them out the same way that these Pentagon documents got out. It's a mystery how they did that. But whenever these stories come out, my question is always, what are they trying to distract us from?
Yeah.
Whether it was the raid on Mar-a-Lago or this A.G. Bragg indictment, they always seem to be timed right around some news that gets buried, in the New York Post about some Biden business dealings that they don't want to get
good point.
attention on.
Because the first time we got a leak that there would be a raid and that there could be an indictment, the first time we got the leak that there would be an indictment of President Trump was the day after the bank records were released of the Biden family business dealings.
Yeah.
So there you go. Look over here.
Look over here.
It's not over
Exactly. It's
there.
the shiny thing over here. Yeah.